courses?
No, ma'am.
No, not yet. Not yet. We were told that almost this term will also be online, but do not know since many colleges are also places are reopening. We don't know about it, but so far, till now we are going online, and we're assuming the exam will also be online, but we are not sure of it. So please learn, and I'm going to teach you derivation wise only because there's nothing else to do in quantum mechanics. It's not at all theoretical. It's completely mathematical. Okay, it's about derivations ओनली अगर तुम लोग को स्टेट्समेंट्स एंड फिजिकल कंसेप्ट है या फिजिकल सिग्निफिकेंस है तो वो भी एक दो तीन सेंटेंस ही होगा बट द टॉपिक सपोज यू हैव श्रोडिंजर्स इक्वेशन यू आर डिराइविंग द derivation. Okay, it's complete mathematics. So without practice, you will not be able to understand this language. Quantum mechanics is a language. Okay, and it needs mathematics. तुम लोग को न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स याद है? न्यूटोनियन मैकेनिक्स that is classical mechanics. Okay, what is the primary difference from the quantum mechanics and classical mechanics? The primary difference, I hope all of you are listening, or I'll be calling names. Okay, I can see the list of students. Okay, so I'll be calling names. Be very attentive. I don't want you to sleep. So quantum mechanics, how does quantum mechanics differ from classical mechanics? It differs in the quantities, in the physical quantities, just say energy, momentum, angular momentum, okay, and other quantities of a bound system. What do you mean by a bound electron and what do you mean by free electron? Anybody? Can anyone say what is a potential energy of a bound electron and a free electron? Free electron matlab no interaction. Free electron matlab no interaction with any neighboring particle. You're free to move, you're free to jump, nothing is bounding you. समझ में आ रहा है? Free matlab you're completely free. No interaction. No interaction matlab no potential energy. V, capital V is used to denote potential energy. Okay, since I'm lying down, I cannot even share screen and switch on the camera. Okay, by the next class, I'll be able to do that. Okay, I'll show you my notebook so that the derivation will be visible properly. आज के लिए ये सुन लो. This will be again repeated. So these concepts पे I'll ask questions in the next class. Okay, तो introductory part में मैंने अभी क्या बोला? I'm talking about potential energy and kinetic energy. Total energy is equal to kinetic energy plus potential energy. Total energy of an electron, total energy of a proton, total energy of a neutron, of any particle. Okay, in the non-relativistic term. Non-relativistic matlab relativity matlab kya? Relativistic matlab kya? Any particle. You understand relativistic matlab any particle that shoots with the speed of light. ठीक है? Okay, when you have comparable, measurable speed है ना तो non-relativistic realm में non-relativistic study है जब हम लोग any particle has we are considering that particle to have the speed of light, very 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 high velocity, then you talk in the perspective of relativity only. Okay, otherwise non-relativistic. समझ में आ गया between difference between relativistic and non-relativistic? Okay, अभी non-relativistic realm में कोई भी particle का energy is nothing but addition of its kinetic energy and potential energy. तुम लोग को ये already पता है. Kinetic energy and potential energy. Kinetic energy is half mv square, and potential energy, if you know the height, where the body is suspended or where the body is placed, okay, mgh is a potential energy. So different particles, different system will have different forms of potential energy. Okay, understood? Those cases I will take. Otherwise तुम लोग को सिस्टम पता नहीं है. Okay, तुम लोग जब सिस्टम बोले तो पोटेंशियल एनर्जी इतना है बोलेंगे. Okay, otherwise you will denote potential energy as V. You will denote potential energy as capital V only. What about kinetic energy? T. Letter T. Capital T. T for table. T will be denoted for kinetic energy. You know kinetic energy is half m V square. There is another formula. Semester 1 में तुम लोग को मैंने सिखाया था. Half m V square is nothing but P square upon 2m, where P is linear momentum. Just hold on, please. Just hold on. Hold on. Okay. So um, I was saying, total energy of a particle will be the sum of its kinetic energy and potential energy. In the relativistic realm, तुम लोग को ये पेपर में है नहीं, relativistic realm में, when the speed of the particle attains the speed of light, when it goes on increasing and tends to the speed of light, you get total energy is nothing but kinetic energy plus rest mass energy of that particle. तो ये फॉर्मूला अभी तुम लोग को ये पेपर में जरूरी नहीं है, ओके, बट क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में सब कुछ आता है, हाँ, रिलेटिविस्टिक क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स फील्ड है, न्यूक्लियर फिजिक्स है, क्वांटम इलेक्ट्रोडायनामिक्स है, तो ऑल दीज एटॉमिक एंड मॉलिक्यूलर फिजिक्स है, कंडेंस्ड मैटर फिजिक्स है, सॉलिड स्टेट फिजिक्स है, देयर आर सो मेनी सब एटॉमिक ब्रांचेस इनसाइड क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स, ओके। तो हम लोग क्लासिकल क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स रॉन्ग नहीं है, क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स न्यूटन्स लॉज, दे ऐसा नहीं कि वो इनवैलिड हो गया है, नो। व्हाट इज द मेन डिफरेंस बिटवीन क्लासिकल एंड क्वांटम? इन क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स वी लर्न, the properties, okay, the motion of big macroscopic particles or objects, macroscopic, but in quantum mechanics we want to understand the motion of small subatomic fundamental particles like electrons, like protons, like neutrons, like neutrinos. You want to study their motion, you want to understand the dynamics, okay. Understood? It is a revolution from classical to quantum. It has been a revolution. Classical mechanics में क्या आएगा? All your rigid body mechanics, and your rigid body mechanics, Newton's laws of motion, all of that, planetary systems and planetary motion, all of that. वो आता है तुम्हारे classical में. Electron specifically, तुम लोग का सबसे simplest particle to learn is electron. Okay, so as small as an electron, okay, that is not even visible to the naked eye. Okay, it's a fundamental particle. Okay, it's an elementary particle. You cannot divide an electron further. You can divide a proton and neutron. Protons are made up of something called as quarks. Neutrons are also made up of quarks. Okay, these particles are called as hadrons. अभी तुम लोग को ये सब नहीं पता. You will learn this in another paper called as elementary particle physics. You will learn more about these particles. You remember the fest we had? हम लोग ने अपना physics fest last year, 2019 physics fest. You remember on a table we had placed the entire chart. You remember bosons, hadrons. Okay, it was just out of curiosity. If you remember, you can remember that we had made charts. हम लोग ने the students had made, using tiny small balls, they had made these quarks. How proton is made up of 3 quarks, how neutron is made up of 3 quarks. Okay, understood? Electron cannot be further divided. It is the lightest of all particles. Electron cannot be divided. Okay, so I am telling that electron is the most basic, it's the most fundamental particle, elementary particle. Protons को हम लोग बोलते हैं subatomic. It has something more. Okay, प्रोटॉन मेड अप ऑफ क्वार्क्स. ओके, ये तुम लोग का ये इन दिस फील्ड ऑफ स्टडी अभी क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स में ये अभी नहीं पढ़ने को है, तुम लोग को उससे भी बेसिक पढ़ने को है, ठीक है? ओके, अंडरस्टूड. सो व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग इज वी लर्न एवरीथिंग, द डायनामिक्स ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन वी लर्न. We want to understand if you have an electron at some point in space, how it moves. Okay, वो इलेक्ट्रॉन को आफ्टर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम हम लोग कैसे कैलकुलेट करेंगे मैथमेटिकली, ठीक है? तो प्रोबेबिलिटी, the chance of a particle, the chance of finding any particle, the chance of finding electron after a period of time in space, कहाँ पे हो सकता है, हम लोग को प्रेडिक्ट करना है उसका पाथ. And they all found, there are many, trial and error experimental analysis to do. Quantum mechanics में predictability question mark है. Classical mechanics में when we know the equation, Newton's laws of motion, just apply over it. You put the quantities like energy, momentum, you put 2 or 3 quantities, you get the value of the solution. You can say solution x. तुम लोगों ने क्लासिकल ऑसिलेटर किया, याद है लास्ट ईयर, अपना लास्ट सेमेस्टर में हम लोग ने डैम्ड ऑसिलेटर किया था, राइट? हम लोग ने फोर्स्ड ऑसिलेटर, फोर्स्ड ऑसिलेशन ऑसिलेटर. ओके, कंसीडर यू हैव अ पार्टिकल, ओके, देन यू आर अप्लाइंग ऑसिलेशंस. फाइनली हम लोग को एक्स का वैल्यू मिलता है ना, स्मॉल एक्स मतलब पोजीशन ऑफ दैट पार्टिकल और दैट ऑसिलेटर. यस और नो?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ, ओके. Nobody said. Devashish, there?
Yes, ma'am.
Devashish absent. Okay, so what did we do? What is x called as? X matlab? X matlab what which quantity?
You asking me
Yeah, Devashish, I'm asking you. X is called as which
uh,
quantity?
in what, ma'am?
I can't hear you. X is called as which quantity, beta? Throughout small x. Okay. P small is called as which quantity? Devashish.
What, ma'am?
Okay. Next. Small p. Small p is called as which quantity?
Ma'am, your voice is really cracking. Ma'am,
Okay. Fariha. Fariha. Devashish, you're not audible. It seems you're not even audible. Okay. Fariha is there.
Yes, ma'am.
Fariha, what is x called? Small x.
किससे I mean quantum mechanics sir.
What is x? Small x is called as which quantity? Which operator? Yeah, which quantity?
No idea.
Small p.
Angular momentum ma'am.
No, no, no. Small p is linear momentum. कुछ
Mean
चेंज नहीं हुआ है ना तुम लोग स्मॉल p is linear momentum not angular momentum.
Ma'am, isn't X the
I am
displacement?
not feeling it is displacement. X is small displacement. Small
Yeah,
x is
that's what.
displacement. Yeah. Okay. Nandini is there. Nandini.
Yes, ma'am.
What is
hello,
angular
ma'am. Am I audible
displacement?
now?
Yeah, you're audible.
Hello, ma'am.
You're audible.
Okay, okay,
Devashish,
ma'am.
you're
Thank you.
audible. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Nandini.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. What is which letter is used to denote linear momentum?
P
P. Displacement.
X
Very good. Energy.
E
E. Kinetic energy.
kinetic K E O.
के ई या टी बुलाएंगे अत्ते कैपिटल टी ओके
Capital T.
Okay. Hmm.
कैपिटल टी ओके या
Okay.
ओके पोटेंशियल एनर्जी
V V
वेरी गुड
Capital B.
या नंदिनी व्हाट इज मैक्स प्लैंक इक्वेशन
H is equals to mv.
नो बेटा
नहीं एक मिनट.
p is equal to mv ना mass into
P is
velocity is
equals
linear
to mv.
momentum
P is
हाँ p
equals to
equal to mv
mv.
very good I'm asking you what is Max Planck का quantum analysis quantum equation try you can try at least तूने इतना बताया you can try anyone knows in the class
P is equals to
anyone in the class
H
हाँ
upon
हाँ
Planck
mv.
equation.
once again E is equal to
H upon mv.
नहीं नहीं E नहीं है वो E equal to can anyone say what is H upon mv can anyone say what is H upon mass into velocity H upon mv H upon P can anyone say
De Broglie wavelength. I think so.
de Broglie wavelength yes correct see I'm not feeling any interest huh? nobody is answering कितने बच्चे इधर आज 26 students are there here today nobody is responding at least she answered at least these many questions okay Amara is there
Yes, ma'am.
Amara what is a formula for energy Max Planck
E is equal to H nu.
very good where nu is called as where nu is the
Frequency.
frequency another formula in terms of wavelength
Hc by lambda.
very good can you say what do you mean by Compton effect photoelectric effect any idea what is Compton effect Amara क्या होता है something hit something
Ma'am,
can you remember it
ma'am, an electron, a proton is passed
photon
on the
photon photon
photon. Sorry,
photon
photon
हाँ
is passed with high speed, so that
हाँ
electrons emit from that body. That's called
Very good.
photoelectric effect.
Okay, what about photoelectric effect?
Ma'am, this was photoelectric effect, right?
This is photoelectric effect. Similar. It's a similar way. I thought you were trying to explain Compton effect. Yeah. There is a little difference between photoelectric and Compton. Can you say? Compton effect याद आ रहा है? Photon is hitting an electron only. You remember? Photon comes from one side, electron rest pe hai, and it comes and hits. The main difference between photoelectric and Compton effect is photoelectron mein photon delivers complete all of its energy to that electron. Metal surface पे जो electron है, when you're irradiating the metal surface with light, क्या होता है? Light is made up of photons, and क्या होता है? Photon will transfer all of its energy to that electron, and electrons will be emitted from the metal surface. These electrons are called as photoelectrons. Okay, photon खुद destroy by giving its energy to the electron. This was found out by Albert Einstein, and this is a photoelectric effect. Now, what is Compton effect? Compton effect में क्या होता है? Electron stationary, electron comes from one side.
Collision.
What is happening? Hitting the electron. फिर इलेक्ट्रॉन भी रिकॉइल होता है, एक एंगल पे रिकॉइल होता
Photon
है.
also scattered.
जो आया फोटोन वो उसका हाफ a part of its energy, a part of the energy, a part of the photon, a part of the photonic energy is only transferred to the electron. Okay, वो डिस्ट्रॉय नहीं हो रहा है, फोटोन अपने एंगल पे जाता है, इलेक्ट्रॉन अपने अपने एंगल में रिकॉइल होता है. This effect is Compton effect. They are proving what energy? The wave nature of electrons. The wave nature of electrons. Okay, so they are only proving wave particle duality given by de Broglie. Okay, de Broglie's wave particle duality. What is wave particle duality? Nature means symmetry. Nature will obey symmetry, right? Radiation has both wave nature and particle nature. Radiation, दो aspects of nature क्या है? एक तो radiation है, एक matter है. E equal to mc square. One will be energy, the other will be matter. Okay, matter and energy are interconvertible. Matter and energy are interconvertible. That is wave particle duality. Okay, if radiation obeys wave particle, मतलब wave nature भी है light को और particle nature भी है light को, then matter must also obey wave nature and particle nature. And matter का सबसे बड़ा example is going to be electrons. Okay, so electron will obey. Danish, could you please mute yourself? Danish? Huh. Okay, so that is called the wave particle duality, and there were many experiments to prove it. Davison-Germer experiment, Compton effect, photoelectric effect, so on and so forth. These are the foundational pillars of quantum mechanics. These are just the foundational pillars. So transition बोलते हैं, transition to quantum mechanics from classical mechanics. तो तुम लोग को introductory part of quantum mechanics पढ़ लेना. Okay, I will give you an introductory PPT. By the next lecture, I'll be ready with the PPT for you to at least have an interest, develop an interest. One thing I'm asking from you is quantum mechanics. I'm only handling unit 1, 2, 3. So I want a flow. Unit 2 and unit 3 basically full mathematics है. ठीक है, डेरिवेशन है, बट बहुत इजी पेपर है और सबका फेवरेट पेपर है, सबका. एवरीबडी हु enrolls for second year, among all their papers and all their combinations, they will love quantum mechanics. You can ask students from any branch, be it chemistry, be it physics. Those who have your seniors, you can ask everyone. Their most loved paper was quantum mechanics. Okay, and for that you need handwritten practice. I could do it very well till last year because we had offline lectures. So we used to do it on the blackboard. We used to prove, and we used to know the reaction students ka, and I used to stand and look how well they are deriving, how well they could solve the problems of quantum mechanics, simple problems of quantum mechanics, how they're understanding electrons. It was very, very, the feedback was quite an instant. Okay, but this time it's going to be online and I will derive, okay, as screen sharing में तुम लोग को समझ में आएगा, notes में मिलेगा, but handwritten practice वो feedback with on the video call it is difficult, but it's going to be the easiest paper you will ever have. Otherwise it's going to be the toughest paper of your entire lifetime, quantum mechanics. If you understand the core of the what the language is trying to say, what the message of quantum mechanics is. To read the introductory portion, the evolution of quantum mechanics. Okay, how they evolved, like from 1900s, different scientists came up together, and individually, some proved individually, some in groups. The entire nuclear physics is dependent on quantum mechanics, nuclear physics, nuclear radiation, till atomic bomb, all of that. It's entirely based on quantum. Quantum means what? Packets of discrete energy. What is a quanta of light energy called as? These are general knowledge questions. I am expecting answers, beta. You're all second year students. What is a quanta of light energy called as?
Photon.
Photon. What is a quanta of sound energy called as? Anyone can say what is a quanta of sound energy called as? Acoustic. Um, it is called as phonon. ये सब general knowledge है, ठीक है? GK questions है. तो तुम लोग को आना चाहिए, everybody, not only one or two students, but the entire set of students. अभी आज के lecture में 25-26 odd students है. Okay, so all of you must know what is photoelectric effect, what is Compton effect, what is Planck's radiation, quantum radiation equal to h nu equal to h cut omega. H nu से h cut omega कैसे आया? Same simple equations. वेव इक्वेशन क्या है, हम लोग को द मेन रेवोल्यूशनरी पार्ट में हम लोग जाने ही वाले हैं. ओके, सो बिफोर आवर मेन लेक्चर ऑन थर्सडे, I expect each one of you to be well versed with all the foundational aspects of quantum mechanics. The foundation. तुम लोग wave equation में मत जाओ. Wave equation I will teach. Okay, that's the very first topic, wave equation. But before you jump into wave equation, and because quantum mechanics is a language, you need to understand the concepts of quantum that led to quantum mechanics. Clear? So I'll teach you my favorite paper with all my heart and soul. I expect you to practice. I expect you to answer. I expect you to solve. Problems will milega. I expect I'll put my heart and soul because this is my favorite paper. And you will love this. And all of my students, all of my, all of your senior students, you've got, Nilesh Kohli is an MSc. He got 98 on 100. And that was a written paper. They had to solve, each essay is 8 pages. Full scape pages, 7 to 8 pages. Simple pages भी हैं, simple essays भी हैं, like 1.5, 2 pages के भी essays है इसमें. They're all very easy. But 5 pages के essay थे, तब भी time में 8 pages के wave particle अपना rectangular box, all those systems. We're going to learn system by system. 1D box, 2D box, 3D box, paper 3 में harmonic oscillator, quantum mechanical review. Nilesh, Amna, all of these students, my favorite bunch of students. Okay, you're super seniors. Your seniors are also good. Satish, Sankesh, they can understand physics. They can understand every subject, every paper of physics in the third year, just because quantum was very interesting. The only challenge right now is it's online, so you need to practice. ओके, पावरपॉइंट है, तुम लोग को यूट्यूब लेक्चर सीरीज है, और तुम लोग को सोर्सेस तो बहुत है. ओके, टाइम कंस्ट्रेंट आने भी नहीं वाला है बिल्कुल भी, बट इंटरेस्ट, दैट इंटरेस्ट, मैथ्स देखे, मैथमेटिकल डेरिवेशन देखे, प्लीज. सिर्फ डिफरेंशिएशन है बेटा, इंटीग्रेशन भी नहीं है. ओनली प्रॉपर प्लेन एंड सिंपल डिफरेंशिएशन, दैट्स ऑल. Differentiation one time, two time, because Schrodinger equation is a second order differential equation. So Schrodinger equation हम लोग करने वाले हैं. First, before that, I'll introduce the concept of wave function psi. Wave function समझो, उसको हम लोग को differentiate करना है 2 बार with respect to position. I'll you understand the physical significance also why this, but it's completely mathematics. The only is it's completely mathematics. It's a mathematical story completely. Paper 1, paper 2, unit 1, 2 and 3. So this is your transition period actually. Did you understand? You can ask your super seniors, be it chemistry or physics. These two combinations में है, ये सब paper है. So this quantum physics is the entire foundation of any branch of, higher scientific perspective. बोले तो solid state physics, condensed matter physics, nuclear. So everything is merging. Every paper is merging here in quantum. So this is the most. इसका ये मतलब नहीं कि classical wrong है. Classical wrong नहीं है, उसको फेंकना भी नहीं है. But this is all about dealing with microscopic particles, dynamics of microscopic particles. So you need to learn What is Planck's constant? You need to learn what is energy. मुझे answers चाहिए. E equal to h nu, E equal to h cut omega, E equal to hc by lambda. Lambda equal to de Broglie wavelength. We know lambda is equal to h upon p. What do you mean by de Broglie wavelength? You need to know that. What is it? Every particle, every matter will have a wave associated with it. Every matter. For example, Steffi Mam will have a wave associated with me. Each person will have a wave associated. The only thing is, since we are massive, our wavelengths will be very small. For a very negligible massive particle, and electron has a very negligible mass, so its wavelength is inversely proportional to the mass, right? So it'll have a longer wavelength. Understand? Okay, so these are the concepts that you must know. De Broglie wavelength matlab every matter will have a wave associated with it, which is given by the de Broglie wavelength lambda equal to h upon p. H upon mass into velocity. Velocity is meter per second. What is acceleration? Rate of change of velocity. Those things will never change. So quantum mechanics may use it. Lambda. I want you to be well versed with lambda, omega, all of that. Frequency, angular velocity, wavelength, energy, kinetic energy. What is kinetic energy? P square by 2m. What is P? Linear momentum. What is linear momentum? Mass into velocity. Okay. Then when these fundamental quantities are great, you can derive Schrodinger's equation. Psi है ना, psi is called as a wave function. हम लोग उसको इंट्रोड्यूस करेंगे. Why quantum mechanics needs psi? Why? What is the need of shifting from classical to quantum? We are quantizing. Quantization हो रहा है. तुम लोगों ने लास्ट ईयर में पढ़ा होगा. Even in 12th standard वो word तो तुम लोगों ने दिखाई होगा. Quantization. Niels Bohr atomic model में he said not all electrons will remain in the orbit surrounding the nucleus. Only those electrons whose angular momentum is quantized. वो word तुम लोगों ने 12th में भी पढ़ा है. That is L is equal to NH cut. Capital L is equal to NH cut, where N is a quantum number. N is equal to 1, 2, 3, etc. up to infinity. NH cut. H cut is reduced Planck constant. That was quantization of angular momentum. Now what is quantization of energy? Quantization of energy is given by Max Planck. E equal to h nu. Energy is not continuous. Energy is flowing in terms of discrete packets. Each quanta, depending on the type of energy, each quanta is called as photon. Each quanta of energy, each packet of energy, discrete, not continuous, not as a continuum. So quantization आ गया, that aspect of quantization of physical particles. और हर particle, जैसे हम लोग को position है, position becomes an operator. जैसे हम लोग को momentum find out करना, momentum becomes an operator. We call the momentum operator as P bar. P के ऊपर एक arrow तो P bar या cap that I will show it in the next class. P cap operator. You're going to operate. You're going to understand. एक स्टेट है, स्टेट पे ऑपरेटर एक्ट करता है, तो हम लोग को रिजल्ट क्या मिलना चाहिए? प्रोबेबिलिटी हमको पता नहीं है, वी डोंट नो, क्वेश्चन मार्क. दैट इज क्वांटम मैकेनिक्स. क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स एवरीथिंग इज नोन. क्लासिकल मैकेनिक्स मतलब अरे एवरीथिंग इनिशियल वैल्यूज है, अगर हम लोग इनिशियल वैल्यूज है वी कुड ऑलवेज अराइव एट द फाइनल आंसर. हम लोग ने वो अभी देखा सेमेस्टर 3 में. पुट इनिशियल वैल्यूज गेट द फाइनल पोजीशन, यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड द डायनामिक. अरे इधर वो नहीं है, यहाँ पे everything is uncertain, and quantum mechanics is a real world. You can't even see the particle because it's very negligible. It's not even naked to the, it's not even visible to the naked eye. So these microscopic particles, how are we going to track it? How are we going to understand the dynamics of that particle? Where is it moving? यहाँ पे था, वहाँ गया. You know, charge cannot be created nor destroyed. वो भी आ रहा है इसमें, continuity equation. Charge, electron. Charge cannot be created nor destroyed. Okay, at one point if it is arising, considerable amount is decreasing from some other part. Full confusion. So quantum mechanics by foundation जो topics है, it will make you realize that this is a reality that we are living in. Everything is relative, nothing is absolute. Classical mechanics बोलते everything is absolute. You have to just be calm because हमको सब कुछ मिलने वाला है. Dynamics मिलने ही वाला, क्योंकि दिखाई दे रहा है ना उसका मोशन. There is a ball rolling on the floor. You can, it's so visible, you can track it. Okay, you can apply all those projectile motion or any other thing, any other initial conditions you can apply. You can always track. You can, because it is very massive and you can see or you can predict all of that. You can give the equations. Predictions will work out, but that's not the case with microscopic particles. There are some particles that vanish quickly, that get destroyed quickly. Uska kya kare ab? It's a huge imaginary world out there which is real. Okay. Initially neutrino quantum mechanics में, okay, Pauli Wolfgang Pauli just उसने while beta decay derivation उसने बोला हाँ there is some missing particle because it is taking up away energy. So उसने नाम नहीं दिया. He said there is some missing particle, but then finally he gave a name also. He called it neutrino. न्यूट्रिनो किसी ने उसके पहले तक डिस्कवर भी नहीं किया, ना ही उसने भी डिस्कवर किया. ही जस्ट सेड मिसिंग एनर्जी है वहां पे सम बीटा डी की इक्वेशन में. तो मेरे को वो मिसिंग एनर्जी को आई विल अज्यूम that there's a particle that is taking up the energy. Finally, that particle was discovered 30 years later. 30 years later, neutrino was discovered. So this proves in all your chambers and all these colliders and all, Large Hadron Collider type of big accelerators, all these exotic subatomic particles were discovered and are continuing to be discovered. So nothing is wrong. Quantum is always right. And that is a reality. The only thing to understand is uncertain. When one is certain, it becomes uncertain. That is the uncertainty. Heisenberg's uncertain principle. If position is completely certain at one point of time, wahi point pe momentum is highly uncertain. When one is certain, the other is uncertain. These are called as conjugate variables. So there are few couples. Position momentum is one couple. Energy and time is another couple. Momentum and angle and angular momentum is another couple. These are the three conjugate couples. Conjugate variables ka pairs. Okay. So this is uncertainty principle basically. Everything is uncertain and everything is, the probability we have to check. वो probability हम लोग ये सब बोलते हैं बहुत, हम लोग को ये सब imaginations आया and we are just saying stories and we are making up stories. Mathematically, this subject proved it mathematically also through the very famous Schrodinger's equation. Schrodinger, if Schrodinger was not there, we would have never arrived where we are. So the entire credit goes to all the initial people. Modern physics who's the father of modern physics? Max Planck. Quantization of energy उसी ने start किया ना, which proved, इसने prove किया quantization of energy, Nobel Prize उसको मिला था. Who's that? Einstein, Albert Einstein, for photoelectric effect. उसने prove किया, yeah, you are right, quantization of energy is happening. Similarly, many people, everybody, in fact, जिसने भी Niels Bohr, all of them, through which you can understand all of the universe of subatomic particles. Okay, so I hope it's very easy. You need to learn all the basic formulae